In the book of Exodus 1 verses 15 to 22, we encounter two midwives who defied the orders of the Pharaoh. Long ago, in the land of the Nile, two brave midwives, Shiprah and Puah, lived among their people. They were Hebrew women who knew the weight of life and the joy of new beginnings. Every birth was a celebration, marked by singing and dancing. But something dark was coming, something that would test their courage. The Hebrews were settled in Goshen on fertile ground along the Nile. They so increased in the land that the Egyptians began to worry. The Pharaoh decided to order them into hard labor. However, the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. One day, Shiphrah and Puah were summoned to the palace of the great Pharaoh. His eyes burned like the midday sunday. "Listen well," he said, his voice sharp like the crack of a whip. "You must kill every boy born to the Israelites. If they grow stronger, they'll rise against me. Obey me, or you shall pay with your lives. When the Hebrew women give birth, if it is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, let her live." Pharaoh's order undermined their very profession and faith. Shiprah and Puah's hearts pounded. How could they do such a terrible thing? They returned to their village with heavy hearts, knowing they would have to make a choice. Would they obey Pharaoh and break the hearts of mothers? Or would they honor the God who gave life to every child? Shiprah whispered to Puah, "What will we do, sister? If we obey Pharaoh, innocent children will die. But if we disobey him, we could lose our lives. We fear God more than Pharaoh. We will do what is right." As life-givers and preservers, they naturally feared the God who created and gave life. The midwives made a pact not to comply with Pharaoh's orders and thus let the boys live. Late that night, a young woman screamed in labor. Shiprah wiped her brow and whispered, "You are strong, sister. Soon your baby will greet the world. Push now, child of the Nile." Puah insisted softly. "It's a boy. He will live." Shiprah said softly. The cries of a newborn boy filled the air. Shiprah and Puah exchanged worried glances. But how could they harm this child? His tiny hands reached into the world, full of life and promise. "May the gods of our fathers bless you, midwives," the mother of the boy said. "You have saved my son." The days turned into weeks, and Pharaoh's spies grew restless. "Where are the dead boys?" they demanded. But Shiprah and Puah stood firm. "We serve a God who gives life. We cannot do this evil thing. We must trust that He will protect us and these little ones." "Why have you done this? Why are the boys still alive?" Pharaoh asked. "O Pharaoh, the Hebrew women are strong. They are vigorous and give birth before we arrive." Pharaoh was furious, but their words left him speechless. And so, the midwives returned to their people, relieved but still cautious. God smiled on the courage of Shiprah and Puah. Their people flourished, and the number of children grew like the reeds along the riverbank. And because of their faith, God gave Shiprah and Puah families of their own. They were no longer just midwives, but mothers and grandmothers, weaving hope into the future of their people. The story of Shiprah and Puah is not just a story of defiance, but one of faith and love. They taught us that every life, no matter how small, is sacred. And sometimes, doing what is right means standing up against the powerful, even when it's dangerous. Just like Shiprah and Puah, we are called to protect life and do what is right, even when the world tells us otherwise. Their story reminds us that courage comes in many forms, and that one brave choice can change the future.